Last but not least, I'd like to invite Veronique Rondeau from the UN Road Safety Fund to make a presentation. So Veronique Rondeau is the Program and Partnership Officer at the UN Road Safety Fund Secretariat. She oversees the implementation of the Secretariat's program of work and manages the entire life cycle of projects funded by the Trust Fund. Prior to assuming this role, she developed a wealth of experience in the execution of multi-country technical assistance projects across different regions, and within that, close collaboration with key stakeholders is key. So please join us on the stage for your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My pleasure to be here today. As we see, the low and middle income countries are very affected by this silent pandemic, and the road crashes, the road traffic fatalities are increasing in different regions of the world. So first, I would like to say a little bit who we are, the United Nations Road Safety Fund, and what we do. So we tackle those countries, so low and middle income countries, so those regions, and we deliver projects, thanks to our partners in those countries, projects and interventions for road safety. We were launched in 2018, so only 5 years ago, and launched by the United Nations Special Envoy for Road Safety, Rondeau, that some of you might know. We currently implement 44 projects in 88 countries, and you can see some of them here on the map. So the fund implements projects through other UN organizations and civil society members, including different organizations you might know, like UNICEF or WHO, in regard to their different road safety specific capacities and skills. We are funded 60% by the private sector, so that's quite a unique aspect of the fund. We work with the private sector also in delivering projects on the ground. You heard so many figures this morning, but I think that it was very clear the urgency of tackling the problem in some regions, but especially the growing numbers regarding the accidents in road traffic safety and by two-wheelers. So I wanted to share with you today a few projects, a few examples of what the fund can deliver on the ground, especially regarding two-wheelers, and how we work with our partners to deliver this kind of interventions. So there are some regional interventions when we look at, for example, the Asia countries, so the ASEAN region, we say, and how it is crucial to there bring the technology and implement it at the legislation level, but also in terms of the adoption also. So here, for example, I want to stress that we really focus on bringing in this kind of project some regional commitment, so that it's not only in the standards, but also in the strategies of the countries to implement the technology and to implement the package of measures that also some of the previous speaker allude to. Here, for example, we have some projects that focus also on developing the policies and the strategies for the two-wheeler. And this, for example, is in Thailand, where they elaborate a motorcycle safety national strategy, and we are really making sure that they integrate some countermeasures to prevent accidents of two-wheelers at different levels. So as you can see, including road traffic design, the trainings, but also the enforcement. So as we heard, it's a package of measures, and this is what here we are doing also at national level. I wanted to also give you this example of the project we do in Cambodia, and here I really like the point that Maria made earlier. Two-wheelers are very used to go to work. A lot of workers, and here in Cambodia, the factory workers are using two-wheelers to go to work every day. And there's such a huge level of injuries and fatalities around this commuting. So this is a new project that around 30 factories in Cambodia were looking at not only training the factory workers, but implementing and defining a national legislation around factories, around commuting of workers, so that it is taken into account not only how they need to go to work, but what happened with the people that then lose their productivity at work because they had an accident. So it has a very big impact also on all the companies that are operating in those countries. So here we also work with some private sector companies in tackling this issue. So all of our projects, the projects that are delivered, will span around the 5 pillars of the road safety system. And then you will see that in some of them, so we work at legislation level, sometimes on safer vehicles, so it could be the legislation on the two-wheelers, but it can be also at road user level, where we also do the training, the licensing, and different examples as such across those pillars. So you will see here the color code. What it means is that we have more to do in terms of technology. So I'm very pleased to hear today about the technologies and about what people will have to share. And we have more to do also in the international regulations support. And that's a little bit what the Global Status Report also tells us, is that there's definitely a lack of the basics legislation in some countries, and this is why some of those countries are having difficulties in really reducing the number of deaths and fatalities. So investing in a safer future, so for us, based on the Global Status Report that came out and that was very well presented, as well as the discussions we have with the partners here today. At the fund, we want to prioritize 2 areas for funding and for really implementing the new projects as we move forward. So some of those areas you will see, it includes laws mandating the 5 core areas of vehicle safety equipment. That's super important. It will include the helmets wear. It will include also the different helmet I mentioned, yes. So these risk factors, as well as the vehicle safety equipment, I think these are the kind of priorities that talks to us today and to all of you here in the room. So one other aspect that we will be looking at is how to unlock sustainable domestic finance for road safety at domestic level, because we see that road safety is an issue that sometimes comes a bit too far on the ranking of issues in some countries. And we can understand in some countries why. But we also see that it is important, like just Spain is doing, and like EU is doing, to really put the focus not only on the legislation, but putting the resources to make sure that we can implement and we can make those policies successful and take those interventions on the ground. And then I say join the movement, because basically we are a fund, the unique and the only fund, United Nations Fund for Road Safety. And as I said, it was launched by the Special Envoy 5 years ago, and we're at the moment where we really look forward to expand our portfolio of projects, looking for innovative technologies, innovative solutions. So I'm happy to be here today and listen to you, but also happy for you to join us in the movement in donating to the fund, so that we can deliver more projects in those countries that are needed, but also channels all the good practice and knowledge from the countries here to those other countries. And I think that is very important. It's a balance between both. And just like EU is doing it, we heard Claire saying how there is an exchange between the different countries within EU. Well, that's the idea also at the fund, is that there is that channeling of support, but also of technical expertise. So with this, I hope we can talk further now during the rest of the session. Thank you.